What if I told you that the persons who habitually surround you may be the very thing that's holding you back? In this installment, I want to talk about energy leeches, how toxic people in your life hold you back, maybe without you even knowing it. To talk about this, I want to start with first the subject of friends. Who are the friends that surround you? What are the influences of the friends that surround you? And before we go any further, I want to say that the whole concept of friend is a fiction. Yes, you heard me right. The concept of friend is a fiction. Why? Because there's no one single definition of friend that will satisfy everybody. That is, if you were to ask 20 different people what their definition of friend is, you would probably get 20 different definitions and explanations of what they feel friend is. And it is usually based on some condition or some expectation of what a particular person feels a friend, quote unquote, should be. Some people see friends as an emergency recourse when one needs to ask for money. Others see people as friends if they're someone who will listen to all of their problems. Other people see friends as someone who would be the one that they can call at 3 a.m. in the morning to bail them out of jail. Everyone has a different definition of friend, and sometimes I like to think of friend in the sense of a metaphorical spectrum, a straight line spectrum, where on the far right of the spectrum you find rainbow pastel colors. And as you gradually move across horizontally this rainbow spectrum, the colors get darker and more intense. That is, on the extreme right of the spectrum, you find the pastel rainbow colors. You find the pink and the lime colors, the lilac, and all of the soft tone colors. And as you move across toward the far end of this rainbow spectrum, the colors get darker. The pink gradually turns to red, and lilac gradually turns to purple, and so on and so forth, such that symbolically, the far end of this rainbow spectrum would be the acquaintances, the people who you know but not quite can say that they're your friends. And then as you gradually move along the spectrum to the far end, the colors get darker, richer, stronger. You can have a classification of friend as somebody who would give their life for you. So anytime you ask a person what friend means, they're going to put themselves somewhere on the spectrum that goes from pale colors of the rainbow all the way over to the dark colors. So what you call or who you call friend varies from person to person depending on what the condition or the expectation that you have of what friend, quote unquote, should be. That is, my expectation and idea of friend may not correspond with your expectation and your concept of friend. And the funny thing is that no one is obligated to accept my concept of what friend is, as I am not obligated to accept what somebody else's concept and condition of friend is. It is a variable that changes from person to person. Okay, I digress. But however you call friend, we're going to consider that these are the people that you regularly hang around. And you need to ask yourself a question when you choose to be around anyone. Does the person that you normally hang around with, or the people who you normally hang around with, how do they make you feel? Do they make you feel supported, or do they make you feel drained? Do you feel inspired by their company, or do you feel discouraged by their company? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself, because whoever it is that you hang around is impacting your spirit, consciously or unconsciously in some way. Some friends, quote unquote, are intimidated when they see you growing beyond their limited mindset. And many times they will try to discourage you from moving further and higher than they, because they don't have the courage to set any meaningful purpose in their lives to follow. The problem with having friends and sharing your dreams and your purpose and your vision with those people who do not share the same concept of progress that you do, you have to be very careful about sharing your vision with these quote unquote friends, because many times in exposing your vision, you may get well-intentioned but misinformed advice that will lead you in the wrong direction. And the other example is when you get someone who will purposely try to discourage you because they feel envious and intimidated by your vision of success. And they don't do it aggressively, they do it subtly. They do it by asking questions that will drop doubt in your mind that would stop you from moving forward. They would ask you something like, do you think that's a good idea? You really willing to risk all that money on something that doesn't always work out? So in that moment, when you try to defend your vision or explain your vision, defending or explaining your vision to those people who cannot see it only weakens your resolve. So that when you talk about what you're going to do to people who do not share your vision, who cannot see through your eyes, you're only inviting that your dream be killed by those who do not understand it. So that the way you protect your dream, in the same way that a mother protects the unborn child, is to cover it until it's ready to be born. So you have to be careful about the circle in which you find yourself. And many times you're going to have to make a strong decision. If the circle that you find yourself in constantly is bringing you down and discouraging you from moving forward, you have to make a hard and fast decision to distance yourself from this circle. I personally don't have this problem. I live alone. I enjoy my solitude. I don't need to be around a lot of people. In fact, I'm very selective with whom I allow within my circle, because I have learned now, after being on this earth for 77 years, and yes, I am 77. Even if you look at my photo, you would think that I'm much younger. And the reason why I feel I'm so much younger than my chronological age is that I have learned how to live a life of peace, where I protect the health of my mind, my body, and my spirit. And I don't allow negativity coming from other people to impact me in the way I move forward in the world. And I'm very, very serious about how I protect my mental health, my spiritual health, and yes, even my physical health. This is a picture of me, a recent picture of me, as I look now, because I go to the gym about 6 days a week, and I take very, very good care of myself. Health is one of the first facets of wealth. If you don't have health, wealth is absolutely insignificant. because you cannot enjoy any type of wealth before the true wealth, which is health. Let's talk about your significant other, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or your fiance. Do they share your vision, or do they criticize you? Do they question you? Do you always find yourself having to explain yourself? Do they compete with your time? Does the person in your life allow you your space and your time to pursue whatever mission is that you have? Or are they always competing for your time, asking you to spend less time on what you're doing and more time with them? This is a very bad sign, because your first goal and purpose of life is to fulfill your life's mission. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is secondary. So if you have a woman, or if you have a man who doesn't support your vision and doesn't allow you the space to do whatever it is that you need to do, this person has to be labeled toxic, because this person is taking from you rather than allowing you to grow. And I might want to say that when you have the situation where it's a fiance, someone that you intend to marry, and the person is showing the signs that they are competing with your purpose, they're competing for your time, they are not allowing you the space for you to pursue your dream, this is a red flag to make you stop before you take that final move of marrying this person. This is a very important decision. You cannot let romantic feelings determine your decision when it comes to marrying someone. Because once you sign that contract and you are married, and you discover that this person is toxic and not allowing you to grow and to pursue your dream, you are in trouble. You are in serious trouble, because in the case of a man, such as myself, and you have a wife who does not support you, and you know that this person is toxic, I don't know how to advise you, because I've been through a divorce, and divorces are hell, especially for the guy. He can lose everything, or mostly everything that he has, including access to his children. And you really find out what a person is like during divorce hearings. You see a person that you didn't think that you knew during divorce proceedings. And the thing is that a divorce is going to drain you even more as you're following your purpose than ever before. So I only say, if you are not married yet to that person that you call fiancé, you need to be very discerning if that person is thoroughly supportive of your vision and your dream and will allow you to grow into who you are supposed to be. If there is any chance that this person is competing for your time and interfering with your vision, that fiancé is toxic and will be even more toxic as a wife, because it only gets worse after you're married. And the last category is family. Yes, sometimes family can be amongst those people who discourage you the most. And in that regard, they too can be toxic. This usually applies to people who still stay with their parents, or who are young enough to still be under the influence of their parents. It could be something as simple as everyone in the family was a lawyer, but you want to be a police officer. You're going against the grain of the family tradition. And so you get discouragement from the very family that you love. And so what do? Do you go along with what they want to keep their approval? Or do you follow your dream and do what you feel that you need to do in spite of your family? Well, the answer for me is obvious, is that you have to pursue your dream no matter what. Even if your family is against it, it is still your life. That you can still love your family and keep them in your heart, but you have to distance them from stopping you to pursue your purpose. You cannot even let your family get in the way of pursuing your dream, because if you do, they become toxic as well. And many times, and I repeat this, you have to keep many times your vision to yourself as long as possible, to keep it from the critical eyes and the people who would try to discourage you. So silence is protection, but even though you may not always be able to cover up what it is that you plan to do and what your dream is, you still have to remain steadfast in doing what you must do, the reason why you were born onto this earth. That cannot change for anyone, not for friends, not for family, not for fiancé, and yes, not even for spouses. So, in summary, what I want to say is that you cannot allow any energy leeches, toxic people, to hold you back. You have to make very hard decisions to separate yourselves from the people who are holding you down. This is not being cruel, this is being decisive. You must make distance from the toxicity of the people who would hold you back. Be brave. Do what you must do, in spite of those who would have you do otherwise, because you must be true to yourself. And as Shakespeare said, as long as you are true to yourself, you cannot be false to any man. Okay, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach, wishing you, as always, to remain consistent and to be successful.